if you would get up your packet, we're going to get started. We are going to do an internet activity, blood activity, so make sure you have your computers up and logged in so that you can get to it quickly. If you put your phones away so we can get going. We are going to do a blood typing lab today, and we've got some notes and an assignment. So remember that if you didn't sign out a book, you can sign out a book, but the books are over here that you can grab and use while you're in class. All right, having said that, let's go ahead and go on to notes for today. So we are going to learn about how to do blood typing today and actually figure out what different blood types are. We're going to do an internet blood activity that has to do with typing blood and what things we need to know about it. Then we're going to go back in lab and actually do a blood typing lab. And then we're going to come back in class, grab your books, and do the book work. Okay? So that's the schedule for today. So first up, how is blood type determined? So basically, remember that our serum has antibodies in it. And our blood cells have antigens on it. If the antigen doesn't match what's in the syrup, then we end up having clotting kind of thing going on, which you'll see here for O positive. And we'll talk more about these in a minute. Okay? If we get a clotting, that means that the two matches are not compatible. Okay? So they cannot be mixed. An antibody activates or destroys a specific antigen. So if I have the antibody for A in my blood and I put it into A, then it's going to destroy the antigen on the red blood cell that is A. That's why specific reactions occur to show us what's going on. Okay? These reactions allow for determination of blood type. So if you have A blood and it is positive, you have two separate proteins in there, okay? Two separate antigens. As you go to test, and we'll talk about this more, that this would be, you put blood across all four. In the first one, you put down anti-A, which would be, and then anti-B here, and then anti-D here, which would be your, in the third column would be anti-B, which is your Rh factor. And then the last column is a control, so we know that we just didn't mess up. Okay, so this is what it sort of looks like in real time here. Usually don't get a big blood sample. Usually it's a very small blood sample, so you have to dilute it with some water to make it work. If it reacts, where they put their control up front, if it reacts with anti-A, then you've got A blood type. If it reacts with anti-B, you've got B blood type. If it reacts with anti-D, you've got an Rh positive. Okay? So as you go across here, you can say, oh, that's an A positive, B positive, AB positive, and the bottom would be O negative because it didn't react at all. Okay?
So for it to be A negative, would it have to be like no reaction for anti-D?
Right, that would be like looking like this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? So let's look at these. I've told you the top one is A. What do you think? Is that looking at the rest of the results, even if I didn't label them, what column is my control? Yes.
The leftmost column.
Leftmost column. So what does that tell me about what kind of A that should be? Yeah.
What? Positive.
It's A positive because there's two columns that are reactive. So one of them is an antigen and one of them is the Rh factor, right? On B, what should I put for B? Not just B, but
Positive.
B positive. What about AB?
Negative.
It's also positive because this is where it's positive. What about O?
Negative.
It's negative because it didn't get a result like that. Sometimes you'll get these rings going like this and it'll look like it is, but that is just the blood evaporating. Okay? So if you would get on your screen, if you went to the daily schedule, if you go right down to the schedule there, let me get there where it is. I've hot linked it so you don't have to put in this long thing. It's right here, Internet blood typing activity. So if you just click on that, It will take you there. I'm going to give you about 10-15 minutes, and I'm going to come back and explain the lab. And then as you and your partner get done with your internet activity, then you can go back to lab. When you're done with lab, you can come back in here and do your bookwork. So it's between you and your lab partner. So as I'm looking at the groups here, partners, partners, partners. Is that okay? Partners, and then we've got 3. So how we want to break this up? You 3 want to go together? You 2 okay together? Okay. So, all right. So let's go ahead and just click into blood activity here. And it'll come up with a typing game. Now, if you're reading your book or your lecture, where did it go? It's not going to have screen on me. Okay, if you're reading your lecture here, it says click to play the blood typing game, then click mission-based game. Submit your email address and create a password. Before starting the blood typing game, click the tutorials section and use the information on the section to answer the following questions. Then complete this worksheet and give it to your instructor. Give it to me electronically, please, as part of this day work. So it's not just by itself, but the notes for today, this will be included.
So I already turned in the notes with my results on it.
From your internet blood activity, you already went up and did it? Great. So as soon as your partner is, then you can go back to lab.
So I don't have to turn in anything else though, right?
No. So we're doing this for right now. I'll give you until 1:30, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to work on that. So while your partner's getting that up, if you haven't done the bookwork, you can do that. If you've done the bookwork, you can go on to the more bookwork if you want. I don't. Okay?
It's not like
It's not going?
no, because like it says like so don't go back to the
For some reason, I have a feeling.
I was just gonna say, I like it.
So what do you Not that, but like, so after you finish your notes here, which these are like blood questions, what are part of the notes. And then here, so after you play the game, you write the results.
Okay, did everybody get up? Because if your flash is not enabled, you need to enable it so you can play with it.
So most of this information I found in
Yeah.
Like
The middle one.
it says play the blood.
So if you're watching this online, you might want to skip ahead 15 minutes. Or I'll see if I can cut this out. But I don't know.
Are we gonna have a subunit this time?
No, I'm just going to put it in when it needs. It was too confusing for some people.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was just like.
No, you have to do it.
So if I happen to be gone, I just got stuff and we insert that thing.
So with the crime scene kind of thing.
Oh, I thought this was real.
just go back to you can just refresh, just to look back.
That was good.
I took AP biochemistry. That was the hardest class I ever took.
Is it eight? No,
Oh, yeah. I like Mr. Smith. But he is
Avenue Mitchell's new manager.
Did you like eight or something?
All these
Explaining something to a joke, and then explaining something to
Okay, what do you want to do?
They're all
Basic
the
question. I took AP psych too.
If I knew what I knew back when I was in high school, I should have taken AP.
Well, maybe you just have to put one. Maybe the triplets.
College, if you want to go to
I
the
see what you're saying.
go to another
They're done with that one.
AP grade.
Look at the normal.
They actually say.
They were statue.
So it's about
But it's not meant to be.
Yeah, it's completely.
Oh my god.
When I was in AP psych, the AP test came, and I had a panic attack and I cried
So
and
what
I
they're
cried.
gonna get
Oh my God, it's like, where can I pay?
so you want to see
All the fees. We paid all the fees.
she's a forensic, she's a pathologist, but she works with, she actually is a pathologist that does autopsies on bodies that have been in clinical trials.
There's some crazy stuff with how these like models that things blown off. We have to reconstruct things. Some of you.
Like, who's on it?
We're gonna do a set of lab, just make sure we got everything good, but we won't start with that, right? Oh, it is?
We'll talk about it.
Oh,
Sorry.
Come
You just got it, you just went ahead. I'm trying to make it so all right, we'll play the game some more. Did you play it?
Yeah.
Would you write down the
So
results?
On the last.
Yeah. You gotta answer the 11
I
questions.
should write something down.
So make sure you're answering the 11 questions. We've got about 10 minutes left. We'll be back there. Some of it was also give
Who is this guy? Oh, he was the guy that had I read it in the book. He had this like oh my dear. He made this like light thing that like told you how to read it. It was called his name color test. I read it last night. Oh, was that the right guy?
That's the right guy.
What are you laughing at?
Who is he?
Ian.
Well, yeah, we're talking about the typing.
He discovered it.
Oh.
Sorry, I just, you could put his name in the Google search bar, but that would come up too.
They really shouldn't have the first name. Same first name. The other guy's name first.
She did it, she got a bachelor's
Or-
after.
That's even better.
Oh, I just read last night. He was probably smart, and I've been asking him reading the book. What did you want me to
Drive on.
Not a trooper.
Oh, it's data plasma.
The girls would be fine.
They had separate reps.
How do what types different?
Well, now I have sponsorship, so now I have two teachers to provide both sponsorship.
What types different?
This looks fun. You try.
What about
Yeah. Prepare myself.
so positive so and anti-A. Only given to it only gives to older subjects. So only gives yeah. Oh, mine is our old
So, what did you want?
About 5 minutes left, guys.
She just works in the hospital.
Oh, make sure they have the same.
And then she has to work side and she'll do the tests to see what they need and something about it.
She-
The other day, she had a doctor who was so confused that she was doing it. And then the other day, one of the girls was on maternity leave. So there's a guy who was receivably passed off in hematology.
Oh,
You can't run that lab just being passed off in hematology.
You take it, so mix it with the 4 ingredients. So I'll keep the first one. What else would you make like 10 something? Yeah, test the dry. Okay. What happens? and mixed, like wrong.
It means you have things that aren't, that won't go together.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna try to make it up and all this I made it all this. It's I made it all fancy because I got it. I got mine Wi-Fi at my house.
Why did you make this thing?
Okay, so O and just wake up and do this actually looks good. Okay, so O can give to O A B A O R. Oh, worked quite well.
Okay, let's finish up. So those that have finished can go back. So if you take a few minutes, I'm going to walk through lab with you really quickly. So make sure you're watching and start listening. Everybody back up here? Okay. All right, so we're going to do the blood typing. You're going to have 3 suspects, a crime scene, a weapon, and a victim that you have blood from. Okay? So, when you blood type, you're going to add 1 drop of blood to the well, and then you're going to add 4 to 5 drops of the anti-A or anti-B or anti-RH, which is D, across the row. And this is what you're going to be looking at to figure out what is positive, what is negative. Okay? So, when you go back there, you're going to have 2 plates. So every group needs 2 plates that look like this. Okay, and these that didn't come in. You're first going to take and you're going to label. So you're going to cross the top with the wax pencil, and you're going to go A, B, D, and C. C being your control, anti-A, anti-B, D is your RH. Now if you want to put control first, I don't care. Just make sure the top on both of these have A, B, D, and C. Remember, C is your control. That's why they're not in order. Okay? Then down the side that has only 3, you're going to put subject A, subject B, subject C, crime scene, weapon, and victim. Okay? Then you're going to go, you are physically going to move. Okay? Each time that you're going to, so don't move any of the stuff out of the baskets other than to use it at that station. So you go to the first station and you put 1 drop in each of the wells. These should have had just 1 drop in. I didn't have them go. Then you go and you put the antigen in at that point to see what happens. So if I got these results, what would I say this person was? Subject A.
A negative.
A negative, that would be right. The important thing that you need to make sure you remember when you do this lab, 1 drop of blood and 4 to 5 drops of the antigen. Okay? If you put too much blood in, it's going to make it hard to see if it's coagulating. It might not coagulate all of it. So just 1 drop of blood across. Once you get this done, then I physically move with all my stuff to the next one. It might not go in order. I'm just going to look for who's open, who doesn't have a place. You can be on both sides of the desk. So one person can be testing for subject B on this side, and one person can be testing for subject B on this side. Okay? I have put them in the lab areas that have just single desks that you can move all the way around. So there's some in the first set, and then there's some in the second set. Okay? Once you get all of these done, make sure that you write down and agree with your partner in the lab. Now, here is the lab. We are going to read really quickly the first part because I found if I don't read it with you, what's going to happen? You don't read it. Yep. Nobody reads it. So,
You're supposed to read instructions?
yeah, amazing, huh? Sort of funny thing that way. All right.
I usually just end up with an extra piece.
Okay, we're going to go one at a time, a lot around, and you just read one sentence. So I'm going to do the first one, the question. How do you determine which blood type is suitable to be donated or received in a blood transfusion?
Humans can have the A, B, or O blood type.
There's a big differences are due to proteins anchored in the red blood cell, the red blood cell membrane, and in the blood plasma.
The proteins anchored on the red blood cell act as antigens, and the proteins in the plasma act as antibodies.
For example, type A blood has 8 antigens on the surface of the red blood cells and B antibodies in the blood plasma, whereas type B blood has B antigens on the surface of the red blood cells and 8 antibodies in the blood plasma.
Type AB blood is unique because it has both A and B proteins on the surface of the red blood cells, but no plasma or antibodies.
Type O blood is equally unique because it has no antigens on the surface of the red blood cells but has both A and B antibodies in the blood plasma.
Mixing blood types has serious consequences.
Oh, for example, when type A blood is mixed with type B blood, the antigens on the type A red blood cells react with the plasma proteins in type B blood.
This antibody antigen reaction causes blockades, coagulation of red blood cells.
Coagulation tends to block blood vessels, resulting in brain damage and electrical.
Those with type O blood are called irreversible.
Oh, although blood type O contains. Hold on. I need to. Oh, okay. Also, oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Okay. Also, blood type O contains plasma proteins against blood types A, B can be an emergency transfusions as donor to A, B, and AB blood types. The proteins in this blood plasma have been diluted resistance plasma that has an amount of coagulation does not reach plasma levels.
The O blood cells are not attacked by the anti-A or anti-B in the recipient because the O cells do not contain any A or B antigens.
Those with type AB blood are called universal recipients since they have no plasma antibodies to react with the antigens found on A, B, and O blood types of red blood cells.
Okay, and then we've got a pre-lab that you need to do with your partner before you go back. I'm going to really quickly have you slip over to the crime scene. The forensic technicians have processed the scene and brought back samples from the crime scene. The police department has also obtained blood samples from the suspect. Your job is to determine who could have possibly done the crime so that the expensive DNA can be conducted on fewer suspects. DNA is actually becoming cheaper and cheaper as we get better PCR and electrophoresis stuff. But still, the equipment is about, it used to be 30,000, 40,000 a piece. Now you can get small things for small police departments for about $1,500, $2,000. But still, it's getting it. So it might cost them to send out to do a DNA sample $50 to $100 a person. So if they had to do 6, that's $600. But if they could narrow it down to 2 or 1, it's a lot cheaper. Okay, so you and your partner quickly do your pre-lab. As soon as you're done with your pre-lab, you can head back to lab. So you want to use a test for the blood type. You get what tells me it's that blood type.
Coagulation blood test.
So you determine what should be donated. If I put 2 blood types together and they give me coagulation, they shouldn't be put together.
It's fine. Yeah, it's just-
You'll want to get a black apron on when you go back.